Welcome to New York City, to Manhattan and to Madison Square Garden, famous fighting center, the latest chapter in the series of fights to find one heavyweight champion of the world. Tim Witherspoon defends his World Boxing Association crown against James Bonecrusher Smith, and the winner has the dubious privilege of facing the awesome Mike Tyson in March. Now, we've had an astonishing week here of boxing politics, all sorts of threats, accusations and public bloodletting. But at the end of it all, I'm delighted to say the fight goes on for the heavyweight championship of the world. For the full story, I suppose, you have to go back to January of this year, to Atlanta, Georgia, when Witherspoon and Tony Tubbs met for the WBA crown. It was a tedious fight. We had to wait until the 15th round for the decision.
Judge Edward Woods scores the fight 144-141 for the winner and new heavyweight.
Yes, Witherspoon's got it, but what a close verdict that is.
But drug tests revealed traces of marijuana. Witherspoon was ordered to meet Tubbs again.
I really looked at and analyzed that I was wrong, and I learned that America, they can do anything they want to do to you. Abide by the rules and just try to make it in life the best way you can.
Before that Tubbs rematch, Witherspoon came to Wembley to face Frank Bruno in July.
Off on the top of the head, the left hook. He's starting to go to pieces in the corner, and he's breaking up a bit now. He's hitting him on, he's down, he's got to get him up. And the towel has come in from Terry Lawlence's corner in the 11th round, towards the end of the 11th round.
So now the rematch loomed with Tony Tubbs, who suddenly appeared to lose interest in the fight. Tubbs said he'd hurt his shoulder. Rubbish, bellowed promoter Don King. Tubbs just wants a few dollars more.
So we know that this is nothing but a scheme with this fake shoulder injury that now Tubbs is trying to use at the last resort after his extortive measures had failed him.
So Tubbs was out. Bonecrusher Smith came in. Although it's a late call, Smith is in good shape. He'd been preparing for another fight. Like Witherspoon, Bonecrusher's knocked out Frank Bruno. He's fought for the world title before. It was 2 years ago in Las Vegas, but Bonecrusher's brave challenge for the IBF crown was ended in the 12th round by Larry Holmes.
He really does look a sad and gory sight now, Smith, and I really would hope the referee would get in here.
This year, Bonecrusher has bounced back. He's won his last 3 fights, including a very impressive one-round stoppage of the respected Mike Weaver. But Bonecrusher's late appearance brought in the lawyers as Witherspoon wondered whether he had to fight at all. After all, why jeopardize a guaranteed $1 million payday against Mike Tyson to face a puncher like Bonecrusher Smith? The fight was on, it was off, it was on again. Barely 24 hours ago, Witherspoon's lawyer said the champion would be fighting. Now then, Jim Watt, as a former champion of the world, you've been watching this bizarre situation really closely here all week. Is Witherspoon going to be affected?
I don't think Witherspoon will be affected in the least. I don't really think he was serious about pulling out of the fight. Far too much money kicking around the heavyweight scene at the moment for him to risk being stripped of his title. I think his mind has always been on tonight's fight, and I think his mind will be right tonight.
The two have met before, Witherspoon and Bonecrusher, June last year I think it was, and Witherspoon won comfortably on points. Do you think the same's going to happen tonight?
Well, Smith has the added incentive of a world title at stake tonight, and the prospect of making an awful lot of money. I think that we can expect a career best performance from Smith, but I still expect Witherspoon to come out on top.
Right, Jim Watt, thank you very much indeed. Both of us now going to make our way inside the garden to join our commentator, who's already at ringside, and that of course is Reg Guttridge.
So there's the challenger. Face well known to us in London, isn't it? And certainly to Frank Bruno. James Bonecrusher Smith from Magnolia in North Carolina. 16 stone, 4.5. And let's face it, what a chance this could be for Bonecrusher at 31, getting $230,000. And there's the rundown then, the tail of the tape. Tim Witherspoon is 29 a couple of days after Boxing Day. And Bonecrusher, as you can see, just an inch taller, but a bit lighter. So there it is, seeing is believing. The entry then of terrible Tim Witherspoon. We wondered whether he might bolt on the way from the dressing room to the ringside after all the shenanigans that we've had here this week. Is it on? Is it off? But Tim Witherspoon said, I'm not talking, but I'm going to fight. So there you are, then he's upped his money to $300,000 now, Witherspoon, with this dispute with Carl King, his manager and promoter, Don King. And the Bonecrusher Smith is getting $230,000, quite a bonus for him. But if Bonecrusher could win, can you imagine? He's in the $1 million class to go on to fight Mike Tyson, who, of course, here at the old mecca of boxing, Madison Square Garden in New York. He's here to see this fight. I call that the Bonecrusher's fight face, because he's a very mild-mannered man. In fact, he's a college student, and his wife is a teacher. So stay with us then, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes with the action.
My good friends, introducing the principals. First, in the blue corner, wearing the red trunks with the white trim. He tipped in at 228.5 pounds. This gentleman has 18 wins, 5 losses with 13 knockouts. He is a native of Magnolia, North Carolina, but fighting out of Fayetteville, North Carolina. He is ranked number 9 by the World Boxing Association. Ladies and gentlemen, here is James Bonecrusher Smith. And his opponent in the red corner, wearing the white trunks with the black lettering. He weighed in at 233.5 pounds. This young man has 25 wins, only 2 losses with 17 knockouts. From Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, ladies and gentlemen, here is the World Boxing Association heavyweight champion, Terrible Tim Witherspoon. Witherspoon.
So we're underway then, and the final words from the New York referee Louis Barriera, who will not score.
Robbie punch, and he knocked down, go to the perimeter corner and stay there until I tell him to come out. The 3 knockdown rule is on. Shake hand with the best sound to my fight and good luck.
So the final prayer there from champion Witherspoon. And what a strong man this is, Bonecrusher Smith. Short on finesse, but a powerful puncher as we come out for the opening round then. And bingo, Bonecrusher Smith going to take his chance. Remember, this is a return fight. Witherspoon had to go 12 rounds to defeat this fellow for the North American boxing title 18 months ago. Bonecrusher stopped Mike Weaver in 1 round. Is he going to try and do it again? He's hurt Witherspoon in the opening round now. And Witherspoon has never been on the deck as a pro, and only once as an amateur. Oh, and he caught Bonecrusher coming in there. He paid for that one. What an explosive start. Well, for a fight that was never going to happen, in the first few seconds we've seen enough, Jim.
Well, Bonecrusher has nothing to lose, everything to gain, and that's the way he's looked at it, as you can see here. He's hoping for a quick knockout. Oh, yep. Witherspoon's legs have gone there. That was a good shot from Bonecrusher. Caught him bang on the chin. Witherspoon's in a bit of trouble here.
One of the great turnarounds of all time this is going to be. The substitute who looks like spoiling the script. The man who can see at least $1 million coming his way and not afraid of fighting Mike Tyson. And it looks as though Witherspoon's approach to this fight's all wrong. First time a count as a pro, he's going to get the mandatory 8 count. Minute 39 to go in the opening round. And I tell you, can Witherspoon survive the round, let alone the fight? Second time down. If he goes down 3 times in this round, it's automatically stopped under WBA regulations. The full 8 count. This man throwing away a fortune, hanging out the chin against at least one of the most powerful men in the game, if not one of the most skillful, but it doesn't seem to matter in the heavyweight division. And he's still got time, over a minute to go in the round. It's a wonder Witherspoon can cope, not having been on the floor before this. And now it's all over with 49 seconds to go in the opening round. 3 knockdowns automatically. And that has got to be one of the most sensational turnabouts. The man who literally came from nowhere and stopped the champion and in fact murdered him, Jim.
Well, we thought Tyson caused an upset last month with Berbick, but nothing like this one. Nobody gave Bonecrusher Smith a chance, but he came out, it was the biggest chance of his life, and he knew it. He acted like he wanted the title. I don't know what was in Witherspoon's mind, but he didn't seem up for the fight. Maybe thought it was going to be as easy a bout as they had last time. But Bonecrusher Smith had different ideas. He never left Witherspoon alone in the 3 knockdowns. I don't really think Witherspoon was in serious trouble. His eyes look nice and clear, but he's been on the floor 3 times, and the rules say he's lost his title.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jim, the cynics have got something there to worry about. It's a game straight, all right, isn't it? So let's have a look at this in replay now. I'm not sure whether this was the first knockdown. I assume it was, yes. The right hand comes in from Bonecrusher, and he's on the way down there, and he pulls away Bonecrusher. He doesn't follow it up immediately. 16 stone 4.5, remember, Bonecrusher, looking from a different angle, Jim.
Well, Bonecrusher kept Witherspoon under pressure all the way through, never gave him a chance to get any power into his punches. Over he goes there.
And really lucky not to go right out of the ring there, Tim Witherspoon. The ropes weren't joined together, so he didn't have much chance. This man now has really had 3 on the turn. The man who, you'll recall, knocked out Frank Bruno in the last round, the 10th round at Wembley, when he was being beaten. So let's have yet another replay of that, and I tell you, Witherspoon want to see these 2 often. I have to say, Jim, his mind must have been all at sea when he came into this ring.
Yeah, well, I can only imagine it was, Reg. But even when he was over, it didn't seem... his eyes didn't look to be in serious trouble. They looked clear. He looked as though his wits were about him, but he just couldn't seem to keep his feet.
See, that was the final one, and that is where the referee now has to stop it. And in any case, he was right, whether it was 3 knockdowns or not.
Ladies and gentlemen, with the 3 knockdown rule in effect, referee Luis Rivera stops this bout at 2 minutes and 12 seconds of the first round. And the winner and the brand new World Boxing Association Heavyweight Champion, James Bonecrusher Smith.
So the man quite rightly milking every bit of applause he can from the Mecca of Madison Square Garden. And you've really got to hand it to me. He came out there to take chances, and Witherspoon just was not prepared. Only half a pound lighter Witherspoon than when he fought Bruno, but Jim Watt and I really thought he looked slimmer. We were deceived by the weight. Exactly what happened there. I mean, I know you hit the other guy, but do you think he just wasn't prepared for you to come out firing like that?
I don't think Tim Witherspoon was ready. He fought me a year and a half ago, and he dominated the fight. He hit with some hard shots, but he still couldn't knock me off my feet, and he won a unanimous decision. But I wanted to pay him back. I knew he wasn't concentrating on the fight, and I wanted to use all that to my advantage.
Can you believe it yet that you're champion of the world, Bonecrusher? What about the Mike Tyson fight now coming up, the real money?
We're going to fight Mike Tyson in March, I think, and it's going to be a good fight. But he really hadn't been hit yet. He hadn't been hit. So we can't compare Mike Tyson with a guy like Tim Witherspoon. Tim Witherspoon was a great champion. I hit him with some hard shots, and I've been in with a lot of good fighters.
Yeah, I know.
And I've hurt some, and I knocked a lot of them out. And I'm ready for Mike Tyson.
Well, you did it to our man in England, Frank Bruno. Now you've done it to Witherspoon. Who knows, you might do it with Mike Tyson, the way things are going.
I think so. I'm on a roll right now, and I feel real good.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Thank you very much.
Well, what a night then for the Bonecrusher. Remember, he only came in at 5 days' notice, but now Bonecrusher Smith is the heavyweight champion of the world. Next, though, he's got to face Mike Tyson, and we'll be talking to Mike straight after the break.